Hey everyone, it's Warriors NRL Fanatics here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. But before getting into this video, if you haven't done so already, and I highly recommend you do, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Click that subscribe button down below. It's much appreciated, and it really shows your support for the content that I do. And also don't forget to like this video as well, and click the bell so you are notified when I upload next or when I go live on the channel. But today's video is going to be my 2023 One New Zealand Warriors season preview. Now I put in the subtitle here that this is a fresh start, because this year it's all new in regards to the squad, coaching staff, and now actually having a proper home. You know, not being based in Australia, and being able to just go to Mount Smart Stadium, you know, have those facilities, a training field, and also just being back in New Zealand, you know, just have that normality again. But yeah, look, the club has, you know, got a SG Ball Cup side, New South Wales Cup team, which is great to be able to call upon for a bit of depth or blooding players. Now, pre-season, we have seen 2 games, one against the West Tigers and the Melbourne Storm. We've had a win and a loss in those 2 fixtures. The West Tigers one especially, we got to see a lot of the younger players that you've never seen or heard of before, likes of Jacob Laban, as well as Zion Mau, you know, all those players. We got to see them play, and we also got to see some of the established players also, as well as Montoya and the new sign Tamare Martin and Luke Metcalf as well, which was awesome to see. But those games, you know, when I watch those pre-season games, I'm not looking for results. I'm just looking to see how these players go on the field, just being able to blood those players and get them game time. So, look, I think the younger players really did impress in those 2 trials, especially the Tigers trial. Look, I think also, you know, going into this year, there's always objectives, you know, there's always something you want to achieve. And we know Andrew Webster's already come out and said, you know, we want to be contending for a premiership. Now, how realistic is winning a premiership this year for the Warriors? Look, personally, in my opinion, I think it's just about making the finals this year. Getting this team to, you know, show their capabilities, you know, their potential. And you know, this team's got the talent, no doubt about it, but it's putting that talent and showing their potential on the field. So, of course, you know, look, every team wants to win the premiership. That's your goal. You go into this season as your goal is to win the top prize. And yeah, the Warriors have been in the comp for so long. They've never won a premiership. You know, we're up there with a lot of the other clubs as well, so we're not the only ones. But you know, for me, this year, obviously, put expectations aside. You know, yes, finals, it'll be great. But what I really want to see is this team each week going onto the field, showing pride in the jersey, you know, just putting that effort in that we need to see. Win, lose or draw, whatever the results are, that is what you want to see. You know, you want to see that effort area on the field. Results are great, but, you know, you want to see that effort area regardless of, you know, whether you lose or whether you draw, you know. Even if you win, you know, you still want to see that effort here. So, look, I mean, for me, it's definitely, when I look at games this year and how the Warriors play, I want to see, you know, the effort as well. You know, obviously you want to see how the game plan goes as well in terms of your defence, your attack. You want to see all that general stuff come into play. But also, as a club, you want to see, you know, lots of the younger players come in and get some game time as well. So, you know, for me, looking into the strengths this year, now the 4-pack, I'd say, is very strong. You've got the likes of Adam Fanua-Blake, Mitchell Barnett, Marata Niokore, Tohu Harris, Jackson Ford, Jazz Tavanga. You've got a good 4-pack there. Although I will say that the weakness is definitely our depth in the prop positions. Now, you know, if injuries occur, I think that's a little bit of a worry for me, very much a worry. There's probably a chance we'll see a few of the younger players from the SG World Cup or the New South Wales Cup get a promotion throughout this year. I think the likes of, Tom Arley especially probably will get some game time. Look, I think for me, Tom Arley is a player that I'll be looking out for this year. I think he's had some tough years with injuries, not being able to get a lot of first grade games especially, but I think Tom Arley, played strongly in the trials, in the 2 trials against West Tigers and Melbourne Storm. So I'm looking out for Tom Arley this year. I think he is another player that could potentially, have a breakout season for the Warriors in 2023. And whether it's on the bench or whether it's starting, that's the big question. But I think Tom Arley is someone you need to look out for. Very talented, can play a bit of prop as well. Just a player that I think, for me, probably I'm the most excited to see for a player that's probably had a tough couple of years and not being able to feature in first grade. So yeah, look out for the likes of him. We've got the talent in the outside backs, but the outside backs is a little bit of a concern also for myself, especially with the lack of experience. We've got Dallin, we've got Montoya, Williami as well, who's come over from England. Also, he's played in the trials against the Tigers and Melbourne Storm as well. So, I think we've got a lot of young players in that area. We've got Villiers, and Rocco Berry as well, who's out at the moment due to injury, so we're not sure when he'll be back. Hopefully he's not out for too long. Hopefully he can push his claim for a spot when he gets back on the field. And I think we will be relying a lot on our experienced players, the likes of Montoya, DWZ, and Williami, if Williami does get a game now and then. So I think, big fan of Villiers, very young, very talented. Thought he had a good year last year especially. I think he can show a lot more improvement this year also. A lot of teams are probably going to look at the Warriors and probably target our young outside backs this year if a lot of our young outside backs do get an opportunity each week. So I think that's my only biggest concern is, yes, they've got the talent, they're good players, but it's the defensive side of the game, especially the good young attacking players can play well, but I think that's my only concern. But look, I love Villiers. I rate the player very highly. I rate him really highly, very young talent, but I think that's my only concern with the outside backs is how much experience is out there in terms of that area, and what happens if we do get injuries? What happens if the likes of, DWZ, Montoya, what happens if they get injured? We're going to be calling on a lot of very younger players to the side, but yeah, look, it'll be interesting to see in that area what happens moving forward into the season. And look, also, now I'm going to look into the key players and signings to watch. Who will make the biggest difference to the side this year? Now, I'll probably go with Tamari Martin for the halves. And while in the forward pack, I'm going to go with Marata Niukore. Now, Marata Niukore can play anywhere. He's played in the centres also. So you can throw him in the centres if we do get an injury there. But look, I probably would not do it. I'd probably keep him in the second row or coming off the bench. And also, look, I'm going to throw in Mitchell Barnett in there as well. Mitchell Barnett, very. I think he's like a Kevin Campion. It's a big comparison to make to compare him to Kevin Campion because he hasn't played a lot of games for us yet, but I think he's similar in that mould. He's a very aggressive player. I think he'd be strong defensively, run pretty good as well. Obviously, the biggest worry for me is when he gets a bit ill-disciplined because he's had a record of being ill-disciplined on the field before. So, look, I think Mitchell Barnett, I think he's going to be very strong. There's talks, where are we going to play him best suited? I think he's best suited in the second row, but he's been playing a bit of prop as well. So, Mitchell Barnett, you can throw him in there as well. Now, looking into the rookie to watch for this season. Now, I've got a couple of players that I've named in terms of rookies to watch. One, I've gone with Tane Tuapiki from the Burleigh Bears, signed from the Queensland Cup, was on a development contract this year going into 2023. Huge reps on Tane Tuapiki, who I thought was very good in that game against the Tigers in the trial. Look, I know it was the Tigers. I know they had a lot of reserve grade players in that side, but still, it was, to play in his first game in Warriors colours, I thought that was a pretty solid showing, and he did earn a contract as well, on a full-time 30-man NRL squad roster deal. So, I've seen a lot of Tane Tuapiki, watched a lot of him, because, I follow the Q Cup here in Queensland. Burleigh Bears are my team, because I live on the Gold Coast. So, look out for Tane Tuapiki. He's very quick. I think he's quite skillful as well. I think that he will be a player that will probably get an opportunity in first grade this year. If it's not this year, I think it will definitely be next year. But look out for Tane Tuapiki, and probably we'll see a lot of him in New South Wales Cup this year. And I'm looking forward to seeing how he goes. And another player for me is Luke Metcalf. Now, unfortunately, Luke Metcalf has picked up a hammy injury in the off-season, so he didn't get to play against the Melbourne Storm, but we saw him against the Tigers. So, pretty unfortunate timing, because the performance he put on against the Tigers was outstanding, and I was hoping to see a bit more of him. But we're not going to see a bit more of him until he, recovers and gets back into the training. So, look, I think once Luke Metcalf does get back, I think he'll be back in New South Wales Cup. He will play a lot of strong games for the Warriors New South Wales Cup side, and I think he will push his case for selection each week to get into the first grade side. So Luke Metcalf for me, and look, even I'm going to say it, I think Luke Metcalf will probably put some pressure on Shaun Johnson at this point in time if Johnson doesn't step up. So Luke Metcalf for me is another rookie to look out for. And yeah, look, he's also very quick as well. You've got to watch his highlights if you haven't seen them already. Look, guided the Newtown Jets in that New South Wales Cup Grand Final last year. Now, enough of those players to look out for and rookies. Now we're going to look at the key fixtures. 5 of them, actually. Yep, I'm going to go 5 of them. Just narrow it down to 5. You probably say every fixture is so important this year as a Warriors fan. No doubt about it. I'm not going to deny it. But I've narrowed it down just for the sake of this video. Now, I've actually gone with a couple of the early round games. Yes, I know they're early, but it's important to get some points on the board early on the ladder. And I make sure we're not, playing catch up at the back end of the year. So I've gone with round 1 versus the Newcastle Knights. Yes, that's right. This Friday night, I'm going to say it's a key game for us. It's important to get off to a good start, get the 2 competition points, and, well, you look at the next couple of games after that, Cowboys away, Roosters away, 2 very tough games. So I think this round 1 game against the Knights for me is crucial at Wellington on Friday night. Round 5 I've gone with against the Bulldogs as well at Mount Smart Stadium in Auckland. That's right, I am penciling this game in as a game I'm looking forward to as well. For many reasons. Obviously, we've got the Bulldogs, who are a team coming into this year with a lot of hype around them with the off-season signings. You got new coach in Cameron Serrato. Got the Warriors also got a new coach as well, in Andrew Webster. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that game goes at Mount Smart Stadium in Auckland. And I think it being the first game at Mount Smart, I think this game it's got the makings of something very good. Actually, I think it's going to be a good game. Round 7, I've also gone with the Cowboys at Mount Smart Stadium in Auckland. That's right, the Cowboys at Mount Smart. We've always had some great games against the Cowboys, especially last year, some very close encounters. And it's Todd Payten up against the Warriors again. So, you've also got the likes of Peter Hiku coming up against the Warriors. So, yeah, round 7, I think for me is another crucial game. Being at home, being in Auckland, and obviously wanting to get one over the Cowboys, who are a team that made the finals last year, remember? Top 4 they made, so to get a win over top 4 side from last season will be huge for the confidence of this team. I've also gone with round 10 against the Penrith Panthers, and yes, it's a very difficult game. It's a hard game. It's probably the most hardest games for us this season, being that we're playing a team that won back-to-back premierships. Penrith, we know the quality of the side, an outstanding team, and it's going to be a test at Magic Round in Brisbane in round 10, which is a game I'll probably definitely be attending, no doubt about it, but I think this game for me is a key fixture to see where we are at as a side going into 2023. And round 23, I've also penciled in the Gold Coast Titans at Seaver Stadium. Now, both of these teams last year obviously struggled. Titans, they want to make a push for finals. This could be a game maybe where they push to make top 8. Same with the Warriors, so I think this is another crucial match as well. Now, the aim for me is obviously, at the most, I'm going to say 10 to 12 home wins this season. Now, we need to make it tough for the opposition to come play us, whether it's at Mount Smart or another ground. And it's crucial for me, given our away record, which is, not too shabby as well. So, yeah, look, for me, now to look into the key areas to work on. Obviously, I've gone with definitely the attacking plays and how we put the pressure on the opposition teams. Look, meters is something we lack on last year, being one of the worst teams in that area. General kicking plays as well. Apply pressure to the opposition, kick to corners, defend well, and when we get an opportunity to get a goal line dropout, make the most of it as well. So all those areas, just the general stuff, that we want to see in this team this year. And being that defence is also the number one priority, because we leaked a lot of points last year. We just linked them in bunches. Now, on to the predictions for the season. So, I'll go with the first prediction now is the top try scorer for the Warriors. Now, there's a couple of options I thought of, but I'm actually going with Dylan Watini-Zalesniak on the wing there. I think Dylan will score plenty of tries in that corner. And the top point scorer, although I'm saying that Shaun Johnson's, in my personal opinion, under the most pressure going into this year, being one of the senior players and need to step up, I still reckon he will get the top point scorer for the Warriors this season. I reckon he will, he's going to do majority of the goal kicking, so Shaun Johnson will be our top point scorer. Signing of the year prediction for me for the Warriors, I'm going to go with Mitchell Barnett. Now, Mitchell Barnett, look, I mean, he's going to be a player, I think, it's probably going to be the most, I want to say, underrated signing this year. I mean, there's a lot of good signings for us, but I think Mitchell Barnett will add plenty of impact to the side. Players to improve this year, I have gone with Tom Ale. Look, I've also got him getting the breakout year for the Warriors this year, 2023. I think he's going to have a massive season. And look, I reckon he especially is one of those young players which could, for me, have an improvement this 2023 season. Now, the Simon Mannering medal prediction. So that is for the player of the year for the Warriors. And I'm going to go a bit bold with this one. I'm going to go with the fullback, and that is Chance Nickel-Klokstad, CNK. Look, I know we've had some forwards that have won it in the past. We've also had Ewan Aiken that won it last year, but I think CNK coming back to the Warriors, I reckon he's in for a big year. So CNK for me. And now to a season prediction on the ladder and where I've got the Warriors finishing. Look, realistically, probably around 10th, 11th, 12th, around that area. But, you know what, stuff being realistic, I'm going to go with 8th. I'm going to go with top 8. That's right, I'm going to pick the boys in to finish in the 8 this year. I know I do it every year, and I know it might sound biased, but look, You've got to back your team in, and I think the Warriors can do it. I'm going to go 8th. The Warriors to finish 8th on the ladder this year. But that is it, everyone. That's my 2023 One New Zealand Warriors season preview. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. How do you reckon the Warriors are going to go this year in terms of the season? Where do you think we're going to finish? Do you think we'll make the top 8? Do you see massive improvement inside? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to this channel as well. Please click that subscribe button down below. Also, just quickly before I go, the channel has reached the 2,200 subscriber mark, so really do appreciate all the support. And yeah, the goal is to get to that 3K subscriber mark by the end of this year. So subscribing to the channel really does help and shows that you appreciate the videos that I do, and it supports the channel. Make sure you also like this video as well. Don't forget to click the like button, click the thumbs up on the video, and I'll see you all in the next one.